How's it going, guys? RXXC coming back at you with another deck profile. This is one of the other people from our little mini tournament that we did. He's going to walk us through his deck. It's one of my friends. These are kids' games, guys. You always want to play with friends. Make it friendly. It doesn't need to be too overly competitive yet. There's no competitive scene out, so we're just trying to ease into the game and just try to learn how it works. So, like I said in my last video, this is going to be a multicolored deck, but we did also include a Aurelus card, or Bakugan, in this one because we wanted to see kind of how that works. So the Aurelus cards don't have cards that kind of go with them. They're just kind of by themselves, really. So they have better stats, and you kind of have to boost them with your other cards. So we wanted to see how that worked out. So in theory, it's a blue-white deck, all right? So to do that, we have the Haos Nilius and the Aquos Fangzor to make up for the blue and the white. So this is visual, and he is going to walk you through his deck. Why don't you go ahead and tell them about the characters and why you chose them?
All right, so first off we have Nilius, and with him I have these two cores. This deck's pretty aggressive, so I kind of went with more offensive cores. This one being plus 150 B power and 4 attack, and this one 500 B power. With Fangzor, I have the 650 B power and 250 250 B power and 3 attack. And then over here I have the plus 100 B power, but it only works for the Pyrus and Haos and gives you plus 3 attack. And then plus 3 attack and 250 B power on this one. So this one I didn't really start off with that much. It was more if I really needed to win a fight, to try to get into my team attack. That's when I really used it the most. And I really started off with Nilius probably more often than any of them, I guess, unless I evolved Dragonoid turn 1, and you'll see that in a second. But yeah, I really just liked starting off with these two the most because of the attack stats and just trying to get my opponent low so they could miss out on some cards, maybe get a few flip cards off at the beginning, so because they wouldn't be able to activate them unless they had something that was 0 cost on a flip.
Yeah, so kind of like in the last video, if you have a high B power Bakugan but then they have a low attack, normally you want to try to leave that as your team attacker because, again, the attacks stack up on the team attack. So even if he has 1, in actuality here he's got, you know, over 10. So it helps you out using them later on. But like he said, the high B power can also help you win a fight if you need to just, you know, get by that turn. So let's take a look at your evolutions for these guys.
So the evolutions I'm playing, here I have for Nilius, Titan Nilius, which I never actually played. I played Hyper Nilius every game that I could get him out. But Titan Nilius has 800 B power and 8 attack. It's a 4 mana cost. If you land on the magical shield, which I was only playing 2 magical shields, so it's not really that beneficial. Just like the abilities are more, I guess they're harder to get to just because it's more RNG, I guess. And then the Fire Fist is another ability. It's plus 4 attack. And then on the magical shield, it's plus 200 B power. And then you may attach an additional Bakugan from the field to a Titan Haos Fangzor, which we don't have yet, I don't think. But here's Hyper Nilius. He also has the magical shield and the Fire Fist ability. But 200 B power for the magical shield. And for the Fire Fist, you have plus 2 attack. But he's a lot better just because he's a 2 cost, so you can get about turn 2, 500 B power, and 6 attack, which is pretty good. I never got to play Hyper Fangzor, but he's probably one of the better evolutions. Hyper Fangzor has 1000 B power and 3 attack, and then when you play him onto the field, or when you evolve, you get to draw 3 cards, which is, I always think drawing cards is great. Now the best one, in my opinion, is Hyper Dragonoid, because it's 1 cost. You can do it turn 1. It gives you 600 B power and 8 attack turn 1, which is just fantastic because that's very hard to stop turn 1 if you get him rolled out, and you're probably going to win that fight every time.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it, how they were saying that the Aurelus Bakugan are more overpowered, you could say. And just looking at them, they're not entirely overpowered, but then you start looking at these evolution cards for them, and you start talking about a one cost 600 B power 8 attack card. So I think it makes a lot more sense seeing how much more powerful they are as you start playing the game, because these other cards really help them out too. So that's it for the evolutions and the character cards for this deck. We're going to take a look at the ability cards now.
Alright, so we'll start off with, I have 2 0-cost cards here. I have Whiteout, which is +3 attack to a Haos Bakugan. Now, I only have the Nilius here, which is my only Haos. And I would play this turn 1 if I wanted to go with Nilius. If I had this turn 1, then I'd play it. But I also use this to work along with stuff like Tides, because of the flow ability. So I could also do this combo turn 1. Since this is a 0 cost, you play your mana. You have to go with Nilius, of course, but you get the +3 to him, and then you can also win the fight just because of the flow. So he would go up to, what is it, 700 B power, which is pretty good on turn 1. So so Tides lets you have 200 B power, and then flow, when you play a card, you get an extra effect. So that's a 1-cost card. Another 1-cost card I have here is Super Shot, which is 1 mana, 300 B power, which is good. It's kind of like an in-between of Tides, just because it doesn't have the extra effect or anything, because it's between the 200 and the 400. But it's also another good early on thing. And it also does well with the flow. I kind of went with a flow theme for this deck, just because it seemed to do a lot just throughout the game.
Yeah, and we wanted to try a bunch of the different effects as we could. Like the Ventus deck I played, I was trying to see, how good can getting as much energy as you can be. And in this one, we tried to work with flow. We have another one that's all Pyrus that was really just heavy attacking the whole time, building up attack power. And then another one that was just kind of, it did a bunch of different things. So this is another look at something like that.
This is a Haos card that's actually pretty interesting. Sky's Hymn. It's a 1 energy card. It allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. But it also has the domination ability. If you control the most Baku cores, then you get to draw a card. So you stack your deck, and then you get to draw the card you want, which is actually really neat, especially if you want to go into something with flow. Like if I stacked my cards and then I have Tides in hand, and then I wanted to get a Whiteout, that worked really well for me. Or if I needed to get a hero out or something like that. I think, alright, so this is the last 1-cost card I have. Cycling Light. It's 200 B power for 1 energy, but then you put it on the bottom of your deck. So it's kind of like, it helps in the situations when you get to play it, when you need the B power, but then you get to put it on the bottom of your deck. It helps with the milling aspect of the game because of the attacks. So it just gives you an extra card back into your deck so you don't run out as fast. So that's all the 1-cost cards and the 0-cost card from Whiteout. So then we have some 2-cost cards here. Light Break, 300 B power, and if it's Haos, it's 600. So this is also good if... I would probably use this when Nilius is the last one I'm rolling out, and I need to win for the team attack. That would be a really good use for this. I don't think I ever got to play this card while we were playing, but that's what it was in there for, just in case I really needed to win the battle for the team attack, because the team attack is probably the most important thing in this game, I think. We have 2 Wayne. So, destroy an Evo that was not played this turn. I never pulled this card off, but a card like this is probably very powerful, especially into something like a Titan Nilius or a high-cost evolution, like a Maximum Hydrus Ultra, I think it is, because that's a 9-drop, and if you just destroy that with this, that's a loss of a turn, pretty much for them, and they don't do anything once it's out. So we have that, and then we have Light's Courage, which actually won me a game against the Mono Ventus deck. So Light's Courage is a 2-drop for 400, and the Domination gives you 800, which means you control all the Bakugans. So I was going into my team attack.
Controls the most Bakugans.
Yeah. So I was trying to go into my team attack, and I had Fangzor out. He starts with 600 B power. I was rolling into a Titan Maxitor, which has a lot more B power than the regular Fangzor does. So I rolled out, and I got a plus on my core also, and then went over with this, and then my team attack won me the game. And so this card, it's pretty fantastic. Here we have Ebb, which is a 2-drop. It's +2 attack, but it also has a flow ability. So if you played another card this turn, it's +5 instead. This card it's pretty good. I energied this card a lot, but when I was able to get it off, it worked usually always. Like, it got it through a lot of cards, and it combos well with this next card, Shuriken, which is +1, and then you return it to your hand. But it is also a 2-drop. Just because this card is just good with the flow cards, just so you can keep doing it every turn, especially when you're getting to the later stages of the game. It helps you with the flow ability.
Yeah, and that card's really cool. When I was testing a little earlier, and I did like a Ventus Aquos thing, and I had Shoryuken in my hand, but I was playing that Ventus thing, and you had so much energy that you kept playing it, adding an attack. I had 2 more energy, playing it, adding more attack, and it's just kind of a back and forth thing, and it's a really cool card to work with.
I did get one turn where I had a cycle with this. I just had the one Shuriken in hand, and I forgot which Bakugan I rolled out. But I played this, and I think I had 7 energy or so. But I played the Ebb, and then I played this twice, and so it got me up pretty high on my attack stat and got me to mill a lot of cards off the opponent. We have 1 Mind Flood. I wanted to play 2 of this card, but I just didn't see a use for it. And I never really saw this card in play, I don't think. I think I played it 1 time in like the 3 or 4 games that I played. So it's +2 for every card you played this turn, which it also combos well with the 0-cost card I had, or just 1. And it's good for late game, but that's about it. You can't really get this card off early game. So I think that's it for the 2-drop cards. So now we'll move on to the 3s. Everything in this deck is pretty low cost. I think 3 is my highest, other than like the flip cards or the hero cards. So here we have Bone Defense, which is a 3 mana card and plus 700 B power. I never use this card because I never needed that much B power, and I could almost always get more B power than this from my flow abilities or anything like that. So I would probably just take this card out and trade it out for something else that would help my flow even more. Here we have Consort, another 3-drop card. Is attach a Bakugan from the field to an open Bakugan. So if your Bakugan opens and it doesn't catch a core, it returns back if you win the battle, and so it'll stay open. Now, I did get to play this card twice, and it helped me win 1 game. But you can't look at the Baku core, so it's kind of like you kind of have to know what yours are so you can pick those up. And so when I picked my core up to attach it to Orless Dragonoid here, I think I got a +3 attack. So that helped me with my team attack a lot because it was a team attack turn. So this card is really good. So this is it for the main action cards. Now we have some hero cards. I have Colonel Armstrong Trip, which is a 3 energy card. Hero, when one of your Bakugan attacks, draw a card. So after everything's done, this is on the field, you get to draw a card after your attack goes through. I would usually play this if I knew I was going to win an attack and I knew my attack was going to go through no matter what. I would play this down, it would attack, I would get to draw my extra card, which really helped a lot, but I only got to play it about 2 or 3 times. Here we have Everett Ray. It's a 6-drop but this cost is 2 energy less for each card you've played this turn. So this kind of goes into the flow ability a little bit, because if you can get to play 3 cards and you have the low cost cards like I have, you can get this out pretty easily if you see it early on. I did get to play it twice, and it did help out when I did get to play it. So that's the only heroes I have in this deck. So moving on to my flip cards, I have 1 Aquos flip card, Brain Geyser. Draw all remaining cards from this attack. Instead of flipping the cards into your discard pile, draw them into your hand. It is a 4 cost, so if you know you're already going to lose the battle, or if you do lose the battle and you flip this, it's better off to just draw the cards so you can see them instead of them going in your discard. Unfortunately, I only own 1 of this card. If I own more, I'd probably play at least 1 more, just because you don't want your cards going to the discard, just because you need them in your hand. So we have that, and then we have probably the best flip card in the deck, Stand Together. It is a 4 cost Haos card. It stop non-Haos attacks, but it also has the domination ability. If you control the most Bakugans, then this card is free, which if your Bakugan roll out and they catch, then they're probably going to have a Bakugan on them. So this card, every time I flipped it, I usually got to activate it, and it was really good. Just being able to stop the free, or just being able to get the free ability off on it, especially early game when you can't have 4 energy. And then I just have a basic Halt Outsiders, which is stop non-Haos for 3. And that is the Haos Aquos Aurelus deck that I ran in our tournament.
Yeah, so this deck did pretty well. It was pretty fun to watch. He was able to pull off a bunch of cool combos. But you'll see that later in our gameplay from our little tournament that we did. But that's coming soon. We're trying to get these out first so you can kind of preemptively get an idea of what you think was going to do the best, and then we'll show you what did the best. So make sure if you like this video that you like it. Leave a comment, ask any questions, be controversial, doesn't matter, we're answering all the comments, so doesn't matter. But make sure you subscribe so you can come back and see the rest of what we got coming. It's going to be a good time, so we'll see you guys later.